All right, so it is day 3 now of stripping this thing down. At the end of the last video, the camera died before we had an opportunity to do a little bit of an outro and talk about some of the stuff we did on the car, how everything worked out. One of the things you may have seen is right there near the end, Russell came in and grabbed the grinder, slapped one of these 7-inch stripping discs on it, and finished that fender in about 5 minutes, where it took me about 20 minutes just to do like the front half. So work smarter, not harder. I don't know why I didn't even think about going to that. The other thing is these electric grinders are going to save, if you guys are using a compressor, it's going to save the wear and tear on your compressor. I mean, our compressor was running pretty much that entire time while I was stripping those fenders with the angle grinder and the stripping disc. The other thing we're going to do today is we're going to try again, but we're going to do it right this time with the chemical aircraft stripper. So we're going to be doing this door right down here. I will squeegee it on like it tells me to using a spreader, and we're going to cover it in plastic, and we're going to make sure it stays out of the sun as well, and see how much better that works instead of just pretty much doing everything the wrong way. So it's fun. It's a learning process for all of us. So let's get to work. All right, so just from that, we could already see how much better that was working, just being out of the sun and the heat. I mean, it started bubbling up within, I don't know, a minute or so of me putting it on. So we got the plastic on there now. I'm just gonna leave it on for 10-15 minutes. I think we'll just get this trunk stripped back here with the grinder and the 7-inch disc, and by the time I'm done with that, we will come back and peel that off and see how easy it comes off compared to what we did on the fender. So we're gonna take a quick break from sanding away on this trunk so we can go over to the door and start peeling some of that paint off, see how well the chemical stripper worked. But before we do that, let's take a look at another example of why it's really important to make sure that when you're restoring a car, you strip down whatever's on it unless you know that the person before you did a really good job of preparing everything before they put their paint job on. So if you look right here, obviously in this area here, you can see all this surface rust. And the majority of this was under body filler. The person before did not do a very good job of preparing the metal before they did their body work. It doesn't look like they put down any sort of epoxy or anything. And I know that this wasn't factory because of all the body filler in there. All right, so now it's time to peel this stuff off. Let's see how well this did doing it correctly. Well, that's already a big difference. Holy cow. Look at that. So this is how it's supposed to work. Not like how it was on that fender before. And obviously you can see that there's a couple spots here and there that I just didn't get a good enough amount on. And I don't know. I don't think the squeegee is really the greatest way to go with this. It's not very easy to apply it, especially on a vertical panel like this with one of these squeegees. You end up dumping most of it on the ground anyway. But this is definitely way better than what we did on those fenders. Well, it's all steel. I mean, this is the panels that it sounds really weird compared to everything else. So I'm wondering if they just put some of that sound deadening panel that was on the floor there and just put it all over the inside of the doors. I guess the only way we'll be able to figure that out is if we pop those door panels off on the inside and take a look at what's in there, because it's really strange how it sounds. But other than that, it looks like it's in pretty good condition. There's hardly any rust. There's a little bit across the bottom here, just that surface rust. And then down across the bottom lip. There's some repair areas that they had over here that look kind of janky. And then a little bit over here. But other than that, this door is actually pretty nice. And this is definitely a lot easier than what we've been doing using that stripping disc over there. I mean, if it's gonna work like this on the rest of the car, then I'm happy to go with a gallon of that stuff and just go around the entire car, put it in plastic, and walk away for a few minutes and come back and do this. And then you've just got a little bit of cleanup left to do. So I might end up doing that on the rest of it, honestly. Save a little bit of time and dust. So honestly, this is one of the main reasons why you don't just try something once and write it off and say it's terrible, never do it again. Like, I didn't do the greatest job that first time with this chemical stripper on using it properly, how it was supposed to be used. And I could have just said, oh, this stuff sucks, I'm not going to use it again, you know, I'm done with it. But instead, I went back and I tried it again, and I changed a couple of things that I did that I think could have been making it not work properly in the beginning. And so obviously it was 100% user error. It wasn't the product's issue. This door stripped off really nice. So I think what I'm gonna do for the rest of this car right now, I have a gallon of some old school stripping gel. I wanna see how good that works. I'm gonna try that out. They don't sell it anymore, but I think it'll be fun to at least try it. I'll use the rest of this quart that I have here, and then we might just end up getting another quart as well. And so we'll be adding all that into our total for the vehicle build. So because we plan on cutting out these quarters and replacing them with new ones, I'm not gonna strip the entire things. I'm probably just gonna go from roughly the body line up and then maybe do the back corners as well. I'll strip the roof, and then we're gonna go with probably the trunk, back section, and then same thing on this side as well. We'll just do the quarter panel from the body line under the wing up, and then roof as well. The cowl is where we found all that body filler. I might strip the other side with the chemical stripper, but this side we will take the stripping disc, or maybe even some really aggressive sandpaper, go through that and strip it off that way. But other than that, let's start smearing some chemicals all over this thing. So we've got most of this side of the car stripped off now. We're just gonna hop to the other side really quick. We'll let this dry out. I don't really want to put the stripper on the other side quite yet since it's been in the sun most of the day. We're gonna let it get to the other side of the car, let that side cool down a little bit. When I was putting it on the roof, it was literally boiling. So still probably a little bit hot to start applying that stuff, but it still did a good job up there. But yeah, we'll strip out that big nasty mud section over in the cowl, see how bad that is. And then if it's still pretty sunny on that side of the car, we'll hop to the inside, take out some of those interior panels, and get that finished up as well. That's a mess. All right, since the sun has moved to the other side and these panels are starting to cool off, we're gonna start stripping these as well. We've got another brand of chemical stripper from Dominion Sure-Seal. I haven't tried this one out yet, so let's see how it works compared to the aircraft stripper. I know it's quite a bit less expensive, so we'll see if it works as good or not. All right, so my verdict for the Dominion Sure-Seal strip. I don't think it strips nearly as fast as the aircraft stripper does. It is like a bit heavier bodied, so it's more of like a gel, but it doesn't spread very easily, so it ends up just rolling together and falling on the ground, so it's a lot harder to manage, especially on vertical panels. I think it would work just fine if we were on a horizontal panel and we were able to keep the plastic on there for quite a bit longer, but because it's on a vertical panel, it's just really difficult to keep everything there, stop it from rolling off, and then trying to spread it. Like, you can't really pour it on there, it just falls on the floor. So I don't think it's bad, I just think it doesn't work quite as fast, and this particular situation does not help it at all. I think next I'm gonna try it on the roof. I'm gonna put the plastic like ready to go, just dump it on there, lay the plastic, and then just try and smear it around with the plastic down. Instead of trying to spread it with a brush, it just takes a lot longer and it seems like it just evaporates so fast. So I think if we just dump a big glob, put the plastic down and just smear it around underneath the plastic, that might make things easier. We'll see. Try it out. I think this was definitely the way to go, especially on these flat surfaces like this. If you just dump it on there and squish it around inside the plastic, I mean, even though it's hot, you can see it's gassing a whole bunch. Even though it's hot, it keeps all the chemicals inside there. I mean, it started lifting off almost immediately. So let's see. Go ahead and throw the mask back on. Holy cow. Okay. So you guys remember that time when I said, oh yeah, it's so much cleaner than sanding. You don't have as much dust. So that makes it better, right? No. It's messy. It's nasty. This stuff especially, I don't know, it's a little, I mean, we already know it's different from the aircraft stripper, but like it leaves this really nasty, sticky residue behind that just sticks to everything. So there's like clumps of snot all over the car. And then having to pressure wash everything off, wait for everything to dry. And then you just have goop and mud all over the ground now. So cleaner? No. No, I was wrong again. That's what life's about though, being wrong. So, yeah. But it did strip a lot off. I mean, the roof is like 90%. We're just gonna grab the grinder and the stripping disc and go to town again. I think that's the best thing for us to do right now. Let's do it.
So Parker's been working real hard stripping this paint off of here. We showed you a couple different ways to do it. We've got bare metal here. We've got some rain coming here pretty soon, so we want to be able to protect this metal so we don't have to deal with a whole bunch of surface rust. So one thing that we've got here, this is Rust Off. It's a rust converter from Dominion Sure-Seal. It treats existing rust. You know, you've seen a lot of them that turn the rust black, then you can put a body filler or paint or whatever over the top of it. I'm not interested in doing that. I don't like leaving rust behind, but we want to keep from rusting all the good steel. So it does leave a protective coating on top of the metal so that if it does get into the weather or moisture, won't cause it to rust. So it'll protect it for a little while until we get some better weather and get this thing maybe into the shop a little bit later. Anyway, it does, again, convert rust, but we're gonna put it on the steel just to get that protective coating on there. So basically just brush it on. If you want to, you can actually work into these areas right here where the rust is you know, pitted into the metal. You can work on that with a wire brush or a Scotch-Brite pad, and you can remove most of the surface rust with it as well if you want to go that route. Or again, if you are okay with the converted rust that you put your, you know, primer and paint and everything over the top of, then you can go that way too. So basically just gonna take a big fat brush here and brush away at it. It is an acid-based product, so you're gonna put it on, read the instructions of course, gonna leave it on for a little while, and then we're gonna rinse it off and then dry the metal. You can see that it takes that surface rust off, so it does have a good acidic property to it. And if you just have surface rust on a panel, this will take it off almost immediately. You can see right there, it's gone. It's that quick. So we just finished applying the Rust Off rust converter from Dominion Sure-Seal again. There's a lot of different companies that make a similar product, but the most important thing is to make sure that your steel is protected and it's prepped properly for receiving whatever it is you're going to put on it, whether it's body filler, whether it's primer, whatever it is. Keep it from rusting so that you don't have a problem underneath your coatings. Make sure that it's ready and clean. So one thing that's nice about this product is that it leaves a phosphate coating on the steel and protects it from rusting. It'll stay that way for quite a while. So even though it's sitting out in the elements, it's not going to continue to rust right now. It keeps it protected. We're going to do a little sanding on it before we ever put any primer down anyway, but at least we don't have to chase a whole bunch of orange rust all over the car, because it would be ugly if we let it sit for a few days out there in moist air and weather. So.
Yeah. And the other thing is we showed just the application process of brushing it on, but we want to make sure that after you apply it like that, you rinse it off. How fast do you have to rinse it off?
It's this one right here. You let it set for 20 to 30 minutes. It eats into that surface rust, takes it off. And don't be afraid once you rinse it off, the metal turns like this gold color. It looks like it rusted again. Don't be afraid of that. When I first used it, I thought the card it rusted again. I went and sanded all of it off. But no, you don't want to sand that coating off. Leave the coating on. It's there. It helps adhesion and again protects the metal from rusting. So don't rinse it off just because it looked like it rusted again. Doesn't mean it did. This is doing its job.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for watching another episode. We hope that you learned something again in this one. And continue to follow along with us through the next one. Next episode, we plan on getting more into the interior again. We've kind of left that alone for a little bit. We'll be stripping the floor down, taking off the rest of the interior panels, and getting into the dash. They put in a lot of aftermarket wiring in there. We're going to take out some of the stuff that we don't need as well, and start prepping that interior for when we get down the road to painting it or priming it as well. So thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, see you.